Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb and Friends. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, joined by my co-host, Tanya White, Dr. Teresa A. Smith, a.k.a. Dr. Taz, as well as Kate Thurman. Real excited about today's program. Glad you all could be with us. I want to welcome those tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Also going to bring in those tuning in on Instagram as well, so you guys can be a part of our broadcast. And last but certainly not least, we're going to bring in our friends over on Amazon Live, where you can get a lot of the projects that our next guest has been in. We're real excited to welcome our next guest is Cyrus Webb and Friends. She really needs no introduction, but we are live now on Amazon Live with Cyrus Webb and Friends with our very special guest, Dr. Brely Evans. You guys know her as an actress. She's also a singer. She's a producer. She's an author, motivational speaker, comedian, voiceover actor, just an overall talent. We're really excited about having her on to talk about not only the year that's been 2025 for her, but also her amazing career. Really excited for the ladies to be able to dive into some of the aspects of her career as well. But Dr. Brely, ladies, hello to you. How you doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Dr. Brely, I'm going to kick things off with you. So excited to be able to have you on here with us at Cyrus Webb and Friends. I want to ask you about a conversation you and I had the last time you were on with us on the radio show, and that was about the power of I ams. You are so big when it comes to manifesting and affirmations. What has it been like for you to have been able to identify what you want and now to be living that life for yourself?
I cannot tell you how my life has taken a complete amazing turnaround because I realized the power of our words. And then when we say those two words, I am, those are the greatest words you will ever say. Like you don't even understand the power that you've just harnessed when you say those two, I am. And then whatever you put after that, oh baby, you most certainly are. So when I've realized the power of what we say, that's why God had me write that book.
Yeah. And so much. We're going to dive more into that, Dr. Brely. I'm going to turn it over to Tanya White, and we'll be back a little bit later, okay?
Awesome.
Hello, doctor. How are you?
Very, very, very good. How are you?
I am wonderful. You are such a multifaceted entertainer, and you, like Cyrus said, you do so many things: acting, voiceover, singing. Why is it so important for you not to just pigeonhole yourself and evolve into other avenues outside of acting?
Well, you know what? I do so many things because over the years I have found that I can. I think that, but someone once told me, when you're good at one thing, start there. Because when you begin to be all over the place, well, I can do this and I can sing and I can dance and I can act. And that's me, right? Because I used to think that, oh my God, being multi-talented is almost a curse because you just can't seem to get going in one of them. So when I decided after college, moving to LA and being there, I said, oh, I'm going to focus on the acting. Because I'd done music already. And I said, I'm going to focus on the acting and see what I'm going to give it a year, see what happens. Let me tell you something about that 365 days. It is the most, I promise anybody listening to this, please focus on one thing first. Hear my language first. Because when you focus on the one thing first, it allows you to, it's like a tree. Your one thing that you focus on is like the stump of the tree, the base of the tree. But once your name is synonymous with one industry, you can then grow the branches. Go over to music, go over to dance, go over to theater, whatever. So that's why. So now I'm in my tree stage where I'm just like, what we doing? We producing? Okay, we directing? Like I'm here because you guys know me for the one thing first.
And you rooted yourself with excellence in like consistency in that one thing that we know you for. Now we like, give us more, give us more.
It's my pleasure too. It's my pleasure.
Yes. Now, as you know, I'm a big fan of Dr. You and your many projects. And I have my favorite characters of you. But which one of your favorite characters are your favorite? And not just your favorite, but are most like who you are to the core?
I'd like to say that a part of my superpower is I authentically use myself in most of my characters. And I'd like to offer that to any actor that's watching. No one will ever be you in your sort of set of circumstances, the way you've lived your life, the things you've been exposed to. So you have something special that you can bring to every character. Then what you should do, I feel like I'm doing an acting class.
That's
Then
right.
what you should do is then put on top of what you already have the circumstances of that character. So I do bring an element of Brely to each of my roles, and then I let what shapes it is the characters, how they have lived, So that's how it's a really authentic feel of a character when you see, you're like, I believe her. Well, because I'm coming from a real place, and then I just change the circumstances.
Yeah, love that. Authenticity is the way to connection. Thank you, gorgeous doctor.
Thank
I'm going to kick it over to Dr. Teresa Tibbs.
Love you. Thank you for that. It was fantastic.
Well, Dr. Brely, I want to piggyback on what my friend was talking about, this acting class, and you bring a part of yourself every time you're in a role. And I'm a fan also. So let's using that as a launching pad. Your master acting class includes real film work, and it gives students actual credit. And that is huge, huge. What inspired you to create it this way, and how is it different from other acting programs?
So first of all, the name of it is Everything They Don't Teach You in Acting Class. That is literally the name of my acting class. It can be found on BrelyEvans.com. But I was inspired to give. And I realized there's a principle that we don't talk about a lot, and it's givers always have. You can never outgive God. You can never give all your stuff away and don't expect a blessing. So I said, in my downtime when I'm not shooting a film or a TV show, I'm going to give to these actors what I know, what I wish someone had told me, because they can go learn how to do the lines and get acting in their body somewhere else. But with me, you're going to get to the business. You're going to get to the how do I self-sustain so I don't have to have a side job? How do I make a living here? How do I read the contracts? What should I expect when I walk on set the first day? All the things that they never talk about in these acting classes. I've been going to them for years, haven't found one yet. So I decided to be the answer to that problem. And moreover, I took it another step up because I said, well, my actors seem to keep saying, I'm not working because I don't have a resume. I don't have a reel. I said, well, you know what? Come to my acting class. I will make sure you get those two things.
Now, you're building a dynasty. Let me be the one that says
you're
building a dynasty, and I can't wait to see how that unfolds because you really have something special there.
Thank you.
Now, when you're acting or directing, because as you said, you got many talents, and we start with the one first. I like that analogy. Get that rooted, and then we wave our wings. I shouldn't say wings, our leaves. Branches. Thank you. How do you think about building a character? Is it depending upon the role, the different role, but how do you actually build that person?
So first of all, what you want to do is you read the entire script because you want to know how other characters in that movie or television show feel about you. Because if you know how they feel about you when you're not in the room and what they say, you have an idea about how you're to communicate with them when it's your turn to speak to them in in the script, right? So if I know I have this bit of information, that doesn't mean I'm going to play that information, but I use it as, I use it as a focal point to say, okay, this person does not like me, or this person is, what I'm saying? So, and then, those bits of information helps you build how you see the world, right? Because, I come from a single mother. Okay. I have 3 children. I don't have a job. I am trying to make it. I'm on welfare. So all these bits and pieces of information that I get by reading the entire script, I can then build how this character fits in the world. So it may not be how Brely fits in the world, strong and powerful, doing all these great things, but because this person has these set of circumstances I was talking about earlier, then I can make her, I make her way, her foundation, by knowing what she's been through and what she's going to go through in that film or television show.
Well, I tell you, I'm not in the Chicago area. I need to be there for what's coming up in a few days, but
Yeah.
everything that they didn't teach you in acting class, for those who are listening, you just gave a master class right now. You
Come
gave a
on.
master class. And so I am just so excited for you. And I'm going to now kick it over to Kay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Teresa.
Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Brely.
How are you, Kay? Good to see you.
I am well. Good to see you. Now, you know I'm a fan.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
I am a fan. I'm going to start
Oh,
there.
thank you, friend. I appreciate
Thank you. Yes. But I heard Dr. Toss say something to you about and then when she asked you a question, you were talking about giving. And I can relate to giving when she talked to you about your master classes and your acting classes, and you talked about giving. I'm a giver too. Just want to put that out there. And it takes a special person to give. And so I wanted to talk to you about the story of Divided. What
you.
attracted you to it, and what message did you want people to walk away with?
Okay, so the movie that I've come to Chicago to shoot with some of our students and also some local talent here in Chicago, and some people are flying in from all over. Um, I've got with my partners, both Jay Stovall and Chris Searcy. There are my production team partners, and they said I told them what I wanted to do, my idea, and they said, "Well, we have a few scripts, kind of we started, so why don't you read through a few and pick one?" Well, guess what? The first one that I read was Divided. And I said, no need to read any further. This is the one. And they said, well, we have like all these. I said, no, no, no. I believe I'm going to end up doing all of these films. But I'm going to start with this one because there are so many aspiring actors out here. I'm going to go from city to city and create a movie in their city so they can be a part of it. And so
And
you're like, whoa, you're gonna, so I'm going to come to Chicago and start this first one. So this movie is about a church family that turned on itself because the pastor had to protect himself. It's going to be good. This is
talk about it.
the pastor, just not to give the whole movie away, but to let you guys know about it. The pastor was a renowned gangster, in his time. Went away to prison for 15 plus years, came out, got married, started a church, turned his life over to the Lord. And this story is about how we use faith, how people see us from the outside when we think we've changed, but those people who still know you, the old you, and how they see you. This is going to be how spirit can literally change a lot of things. Even when you go back to your same neighborhoods, when you decide to be a new person. And so this is going to be a great way for people to see how we treat people that have changed and see how you have to make a decision that is not popular, how you should stand. So I am so excited about this opportunity to shoot this. It is a Christian film. It has word all in it, and it's really going to be fun. My one friend told me the gangsters and the Christians going to love this one. I said, oh, good. Come on. I'll take the gangsters. Tell them to come on.
I'm
So
trying to tell you.
yeah, it's going to be really, really good. So we're here in Chicago gearing up to start shooting in just a few days. And my other business partner and producer, Tana Gilmore, is also our intimacy coordinator, who she makes sure that when we have those intimate scenes on set and between husbands and wives, she makes sure that everybody's comfortable and how things should work and how the camera should, do their thing. So we're just blessed. Our hair department is my girl Crystal Haynes. She's also on All American in the hair department. My girl Kenitha Hunt, who's actually my niecey poo, will be the head of our makeup department. I just went and got my friends and family and said, "Come on, we're about to." And they said, let's go. And so I'm just grateful that people trust me enough to fly in and put their resources, where this film is concerned to get it done. And this is a community effort, and I am happy to lead the charge. And you know what else I love about this is I feel like I'm starting at one again. So remember, we were talking about that tree branch, right? And that tree branch is, everyone knows me as an actor, and now I'm in my branches. But I feel like this little branch has fallen off, and it has like went back down in the ground, and I'm yet budding another tree stump. So I'm starting from one all over again. And anybody listening to this, I want you to be unafraid to start again. Don't be so stuck in, like, I feel like I've been having a beautiful career for these last 20 years. I have done the absolute most. But to start over again in an area that I'm not well versed in as a producer and a director, but to start over at one, those feelings of, is this going to work? Those butterflies. I'm like loving the energy of it, although still have that little nervous energy going. But I am so excited about starting at one again. So I just want to encourage people to start again. Like, when the good Lord woke us up for a reason, he has yet something for you to do. So just please don't be afraid to be the underdog. Don't be afraid to be, the new person at the job, or at the, whatever you're going for. So I'm excited about it. So let's see how it goes.
Amen. So tell them to do it scared and have faith. It's a faith walk.
Just do it. We have got to. Let me tell you something. When you trust in God, you can jump off that cliff, and baby, that parachute is going to open. It's truly a faith walk. That's all this is. I tell people, we were talking about jobs earlier, and people are like, well, I have to keep my job because I got to pay my bills. And I said, okay, well, right now your job is your God, and that's okay. But I want you to hear what I just said. Your job is your God right now. Until you can trust God in a way, it's like, well, Lord, if you tell me to lose it all, then I'm okay with it. But God, he's not going to do you like that. And if he does, trust and believe that he got something coming so cold, because he's not a man that he can't lie. And he can't make you be like, in the name of him, you're speaking his name out, and then he gonna make you look like a fool. Absolutely not. Tyler Perry, he talks about when he lived in his car, and people thought he was a fool for the things that he was doing. And so it was, but look at him now.
Amen.
So you've got to take that lead. You've got to take that lead.
And trust God completely.
Absolutely.
And so my next question, as a woman rooted in faith and empowerment, how does your personal journey influence your creative storytelling?
That's a good question. My personal story, let's see, it really, well, when it was time, because I'm a writer on this film, and I definitely wrote from a place that I knew, I know church. That's how in it. So I know the little nuances that happen in that setting, right? So I was sure to put that in. I know how pastor wives move. Oh, guess what? I'm playing the pastor's wife. So I've seen them move, my whole life. I know the conversations they have behind the scenes. So I'll be exposing some of that in this film.
Talk about it. I'm excited. I can't wait.
See the film. I can't tell you now. But yeah, we're gonna expose something. But again, I'm gonna always be writing films and television shows from a place of things that I've been through. You know what I'm saying? That I've seen, that I've heard. Yeah.
I think that's the best way, because it's more authentic than anything. When you write from experience and a place of anything you've been through, hurt, happiness, joy, pain, all of that.
Use it. It is power. There is, honey, I said, there is payment in your pain. Go get your money.
Amen. Well, I can go on all day, but I'm gonna turn it back over to Cyrus, and it's been a wonderful time chatting with you.
Thank you. So wonderful to talk to you.
Thank you so much for that, Kate. Thanks to everyone. I want to reset real quick for you guys joining us on Amazon. Welcome. I see you guys coming in. Appreciate the hearts. You all are watching Cyrus Webb and Friends here on Amazon Live, but we're simulcasting it for Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram and Brely. We have people on all of those places. So we appreciate you guys being with us. Dr. Brely Evans is with us today, talking with us about her amazing career, her new project. She was just talking with our co-host. Dr. Brely, I just have a couple of questions for you. And it goes back to what I mentioned at the beginning, because when I first interviewed you, again, it was during the time that that you were on the hit show Ambitions on the Oprah Winfrey Network, and you had made that post before Ambitions about working with Oprah and Will Packer.
Something.
And then there you were on the Oprah Winfrey Network with the show. With Will
I
Packer.
promise you, this is why I say, watch what you say, because you're gonna see what you said.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about belonging, because you mentioned something with Kate I thought was really interesting. What is it like for you to be at a place in your life where you can walk in a room and know you belong?
Well, I would hope that those listening to would walk into a place and know they belong before I did, if that makes sense. I had to learn to be okay with being a curvy girl in Hollywood. I had to learn all those things. So it took me some time, right? Where I want the ones that come behind me to already know that, hey, I belong here because the good Lord has put, breath in my body. I belong here because I was able to walk through the door, not because I have accolades or a resume or people know me or I'm famous, not because of any of those things, just because you are. Because when you say I am, you can be whatever you want to be. And you can start that thing today. It don't have to, there's no, I think us humans put these time frames and you got to have this, you got to have that. That's not true. I started in this industry with no manager, no agent, just, a dream and a prayer and knowing that I know that this is for me, a knowing. That's all I started this with. So when you saw me on the movie Sparkle, Whitney Houston's last film, I didn't even have a manager or an agent.
Wow.
Then you saw me just after that on, it was Just Right first. No manager, no agent. Then it was Sparkle. No manager. These are big studio films.
Right.
And here I am right up there with the best and the biggest of them. And literally, you can have what you say. You really can.
Dr. Brely, you made a post. You mentioned with Kate something, and I thought about a post you made in June and you know what I'm talking about. You had shared a post about a hand with the rope, and you were talking about the things that it run, I think, in the family until it ran into me.
Hey,
Talking about, generational trauma. And in your caption, because I'm a big nerd, I read captions.
I love you.
Look, in your caption, you mentioned something that you said with Kate, and it really surprised me when I was reading when you talked about starting at zero and being transparent. What has it been like for you to know that your tribe got you? Because what are we talking about, the water walkers, or just when you show up on live, and people showing you love, sending you in gifts? What has it been like for you to see the tribe that's there supporting you along your journey?
It humbles me, and because people don't have to. I'm just like, wow, people don't have to help me in any way. They don't have to. They there's no skin in the game. I'm not cutting checks for every single person.
Yeah.
It's a blessing to have people trust you. And for you to, I've shown up consistent in places and people just have said, you know what? I trust her for whatever reason. People have come on this project and said, I'm coming because I know who you are. And some people, let me be clear, have left this project already because they don't know who I am. So they see certain things and they felt a little uncomfortable. They say, oh no, I can't be a part of that. And that's fine too. But what I love to say is, oh, it's unfortunate that you don't know me yet. So you haven't been around long enough to know that character, to know that if she's involved with it, my daddy told me, be irreplaceable. You might not be the best one at the job, but you're going to show up on time. You're going to be honest. You're going to be, know the job. You're going to do the job. You're going to bring joy. The intangible things that people tend to forget. The small things, but those things really can build an amazing character in you that people can trust and want to be in business with.
So true.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to ask you about, and really appreciate the time with us today, and that is about showing up, because you've mentioned that a couple of times there, and I want you to share with our audience, because for yourself, you talk a lot about, as we talked about, affirmations. You talked about the importance of faith. You talked about the importance, of knowing who you are, your own value. What would you say to them about, especially for those who have been kind of sitting on their gifts or sitting on the sidelines? What would you tell them about taking advantage of the time that is now, Dr. Brely?
Well, Cyrus, I love the way you said sitting on the sidelines, because I'm going to tell them, get on the court, get in the game. Don't wait for no. See, what I'm doing right now is I've sat now, although you guys have seen me on Mind Your Business, Family Business, House of Vicious, Cold and Windy. You've seen me on all these shows, right? Recently.
Mm-hmm.
That's still sitting on the sideline. Because in none of those was I betting on myself in a place where I could lose the game. because you're real safe on the sideline. But when you get on the court, baby, every shot counts, right? Every shot counts. So now I am putting up shots because I'm ready to win the game in a different way. And that's why I said this is me starting all over at one as a producer, director, writer, saying now it's time for me to leave the gate open and help some of y'all come on in. I think success is about who I can help along the way. Success is not how much I've done. Y'all can go to IMDb and look at all the movies and TV shows and just scroll your life away about what I've done. But until I have built a legacy in someone else's life, and because of what I've provided for them to do, the platform I provided for them, then I really haven't succeeded to me. And so I'm really excited about this opportunity. My heart is so full. I'm so joyous. I'm so grateful that this is happening. And so Brely Evans Divided is coming to a television near you very, very soon. We are about to shoot this thing here in Chicago, and it's about to be amazing. I'm excited.
Well, you are amazing, Dr. Brely, and it's been so good, not only, of course, to be inspired by you as I am, to being able to watch the way you pour into others, but also just by your walking the talk. And I think that is the thing that so many people admire about you. That it's not just you telling us what to do, you're showing us by example. So really appreciate that. Again, everyone, Dr. Brely Evans has been our guest. I want to say thanks to our lovely co-host for today as well. Dr. Brely, let them know the best way to be able to stay connected with you.
Well, right there at the bottom of your screen, you can see I'm at Brely Evans on all social media platforms. Also, BrelyEvans.com. If you would like to be a part of this masterclass, get in class with me so you can be in a film. And more importantly, I have a community called CAMP. CAMP is CAMP, Celebrity Actors Mentoring Program. I want to be your mentor. I want to hold your hand through the process. I don't want to be just your coach from over there.
That's right.
Being your mentor is so important to me because it's like I sit on the side of the table with you, and then the producers, directors, and everybody else is over there. And so I really give you a hands-on feel of how this industry goes. And it's just $1 a day. And it's also on my website, BrelyEvans.com. So join camp this month and I bring a master of the art every month. We've had Valerie Pettiford. We've had Malik Whitfield. And this month on June 7th, in just a couple days, so hurry up and go to my website, we're having Miguel Nunez. He's going to impart all kinds of wisdom into these actors, and I'm excited to sit at his feet myself.
Love that. Dr. Brely, really appreciate you. Looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you so much, Cyrus, and ladies, thank you. God bless you.
Thanks for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb and Friends. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.